Good Sunday morning, Northeast Ohio, on this day of rest in the impeachment trial of President Trump. The process will continue again tomorrow. Impeachment very much on the minds of voters across the country, and in a new Baldwin Wallace Great Lakes poll that looked at 4 states: Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Now, in Ohio in 2016, President Trump won the state comfortably by more than 400,000 votes. But in the other 3, he carried them by only 78,000 votes combined. Despite that huge gap, though, at this stage of the game, this poll shows all 4 states appear to be on the same page. The poll shows President Trump trailing the unknown Democratic nominee in all 4 states, including Ohio, but with the Buckeye State in the margin of error.
A lot of people have written Ohio off based on the last election with the 8-point win that President Trump had. That's really not the case. Also, very interesting to see the differences between men and women. We saw bigger percentages of women being against Trump and certain to vote for the Democratic candidate, whoever it is. And then a mirror image of that for male voters. So I think that really shows that this gender split that we began to see in 2018 in the midterm elections is continuing.
There were minor differences on display in the area of the impeachment trial in the Senate, with voters split on whether the president should be removed from office, with Ohio the only state where the number who strongly oppose removal outnumbered narrowly those who strongly support it. Also interesting were the results to be found in the race for the Democratic nomination.
So in 3 of the 4 states, Biden is leading, but in Wisconsin, it's Bernie Sanders leading by about 6 points. Elizabeth Warren sitting at about the 13 to 15% range. The surprise is the 4th is not Pete Buttigieg or Amy Klobuchar. It is in fact Michael Bloomberg. And we think that may have something to do with this massive ad campaign, spending $200 million plus across the country, including a lot of ad buys in these 4 states.
And that's part of the Bloomberg strategy to target those states voting in March, like Michigan and Ohio, and those voting in April, like Pennsylvania and Wisconsin. Well, on this Sunday morning, a Latin lesson, sede vacante, the seat is vacant. It's a term that normally applies to when a pope passes or when a bishop's chair opens up. Such will be the case in Cleveland in a couple of weeks, as Pope Francis this week named Bishop Nelson Perez to be the new Archbishop of Philadelphia. Bishop Perez has only been in Cleveland for 2.5 years. Compare that to his 10 predecessors. They averaged 17 years apiece in the seat. Still, for Pope Francis, the fit with Philly was too much for Bishop Perez to pass up.
This is surreal.
A surprised Archbishop-elect Nelson Perez tells of getting the call from the Vatican Saturday morning that the Pope was tapping him to lead the Archdiocese of Philadelphia, where he was ordained a priest 3 decades ago.
And I said, so where am I going now? And he says, are you sitting? And I says, oh gosh. And he said, Philadelphia. And I said, you're kidding me. I was shocked, just absolutely shocked.
But excited, he'd say, for this reason.
You know, once a Philadelphia priest, always a Philadelphia priest.
And a parish priest is what the 58-year-old Perez always considered himself first.
Welcome to our
Hi there.
parish in
Thank
the
you.
city.
Thank you so much.
Perez took over the Cleveland Diocese in 2017 after the retirement of Bishop Richard Lennon for health reasons. He would bring to the job the personable side of a spiritual leader who spoke to, not over, his congregation.
I have been sent here to become a part of you, not the other way around. Got that?
He was the first Hispanic bishop of Cleveland and will be the first Hispanic Archbishop of Philadelphia, something we talked about in 2017. What does it say to the Hispanic community that they have somebody that they can look to in this role?
Well, obviously I have the capacity to speak Spanish and understand the culture, and that's a great blessing. I don't see myself as exclusively, someone asked me a while ago, so what's it like being a Hispanic bishop or a Latino bishop? And I says, there's no such thing, because I'm a Catholic bishop.
He would set out immediately, he told me, in those early months on an ambitious tour of the diocese and its 174 parishes and 126 elementary and high schools.
Sometimes in the last couple of weeks, I've been in 3 to 4 parishes on the weekends for different things. I was in a parish and I'm looking out at the people and looking out at the kids that were there and the families, and says, boy, what a great job I have.
And that's the one part, he said, that made this day bittersweet, leaving that job, leaving Cleveland.
I'm sad to leave them. I can't say that that brings me joy. It brings me sadness because they were so good to me. And I made great friends, and I'll always have them dear in my heart.
And at 58, Bishop Perez will be the youngest Archbishop of Philadelphia since the late John Cardinal Kroll was appointed in 1961 at the age of 50. I mention that because Cardinal Kroll also came to the post from the Diocese of Cleveland. Formal installation services will take place February 18th in Philadelphia, at which time here in Cleveland it will be Sede Vacante again until the Pope appoints a new bishop. With Democracy 2020, I'm John Kosich. Enjoy your Sunday.